I'm taking a break from doing laundry to record this. I figured, what the hell. So the other day, I was arguing with somebody on Twitter about Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, and because it was Godzilla X Kong, my mind obviously drifted back to the original King Kong vs. Godzilla that came out in 1962. And I downloaded a PS2 emulator to play the vanilla version of Godzilla Save the Earth. And I was thinking, obviously I'm trying to come up with ideas for videos. And for some reason it occurred to me, one of the most iconic moments from that movie, which is King Kong trying to shove the tree down Godzilla's throat. And obviously I've been thinking a lot about the more casual aspects of Godzilla Save the Earth, and how Godzilla Save the Earth Melee could address many of those things, and maybe modify the systems that are currently in place. So one of the ideas that I had involved the buildings. Now, if you've ever played Super Smash Bros., you know that there's various weapons that you can grab as item spawns, such as the Star Rod or the Home Run Bat, or any of the various ones that have been added over the years. And I was thinking, because obviously a lot of the airstrikes were similar to the Pokemon and the assist trophies, right? I was like, well, how would you put battering weapons into the Godzilla game? Well, they've already done that. The base Godzilla Save the Earth already has battering weapons in it. As you can see, you can pick them up off the ground. They're not like major buildings, but you pick them up and they basically function like baseball bats. And so I was curious, I was like, well, how could they add some to the game? Because they need a reason to fix them. And I'll explain how they need fixing in a second. As you can see, I've modified the city map of Tokyo that I've used in the various airstrike videos, and I've kind of made it similar to the layout for the Monster Island Bay level of the game. Which I'm sure, if you've played the game recently, or at all, you know that Monster Island Bay is one of the, mini subsection maps. And this one's unlocked from the very, very beginning, which means I didn't have to really try in order to unlock it in the emulator. But personally, this is the map that I think of when I think of Monster Island in Godzilla Save the Earth. Now, in the original map, there isn't really a whole lot to make it interesting. And I imagine that that's for a reason, considering it's Monster Island and you're supposed to just treat it like the boring map. So as you can see, right here, there's a bunch of boulders laying around the map. What I was considering, based on the King Kong vs. Godzilla tree moment, I thought, well, there's an easy way to make this map more interesting. As you can see, I've placed giant palm trees all around the map. And so the idea would be that you could obviously walk over to these and pick them up and use them like the baseball bat in Smash. And I really don't think it would be that difficult to add such a thing to the game. Because think about it, the basic framework of battering weapons is already there. So you aren't making a new gameplay system. Really, all you would have to do is find a palm tree model and just kind of scale it up and just have it replace the construction pillars or the smokestacks that are present in the game already. And then that way, you make the gameplay a little bit more dynamic. Personally, I find it really fun to grab one of the smokestacks in the Tokyo level and just go to town, because your opponents go flying. And I feel like, and someone correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I believe the Tokyo map and the Seattle map are the only locations in the vanilla base game that have these objects in them. There's not just smokestacks in the Tokyo level, there's also these weird square looking things, and they're not immediately obvious as battering weapons, in the same way that the giant construction pillars and the smokestacks are. But I think they're a worthwhile addition to the game. However, I do think there is a big problem with them. Now, this might not be the case, but in my experience when I was recording the other day to try and get footage for this video, it isn't immediately obvious when you can and cannot grab these battering weapons. And And if you're in the middle of combat, grabbing them, it's not always straightforward. There were a lot of times when I would just end up pressing the left trigger kind of impotently and just hoping to God that the AI opponent wasn't going to realize that I was trying and failing to pick something up, and it would come over and attack me or pick me up. So the system isn't perfect in the game as it is. I imagine this wasn't a major feature. I have a feeling this was something that one of the devs just did for fun. They were like, wouldn't this be cool? So if they could bring it back in Save the Earth Melee and fix it and expand upon it a little bit so that you can use it in other maps, kind of like in the Monster Island example that I just made, I feel like it would be a worthwhile addition to the game. And if you throw in all the airstrike stuff that I've suggested in the past, you're on your way to a really dynamic casual fighting experience. And obviously, you could probably just turn off this feature somehow via an option in the settings menu, because I imagine they'd want to get rid of stuff like this for competitive matches. Or they might leave it in, because it might not be very good in a competitive sense, and that would be a balancing act. And I imagine the dev team could figure that out. But I do think it's a worthwhile thing to investigate. Like I said, you basically just have to take the battering weapons that are in the game as they currently stand and just remodel them. I'm sure there's a million stock models of trees. And it's not like this isn't a thing in the movies, because in the Monsterverse movies, you know, when Kong fights the Skullcrawler, he shorns the tree and uses it as a battering weapon. So it's not unheard of. I think it could be neat. I don't expect it would take too much extra effort on the part of the devs. The only thing is that I don't know how difficult it is to modify the building files and the layout files, which is kind of connected to something I've talked about in the past with regards to all the stages and stuff, but just on a logical level, it doesn't seem like it would be all that difficult. Overall, let me know what you guys think. I personally always loved the fact that you could do stuff like that in the game. I always loved the fact that you could use buildings as battering weapons in the vanilla game. You know, and if you're a little kid playing the game, it's fun to just whop. The idea of Godzilla literally picking up a building and molly-whopping somebody with it is inherently appealing. I mean, Scar King even does it in Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. In a slightly different sense, yes, but... So, let me know what you guys think. Leave a like and a comment. Tell me what you think. Even if Save the Earth Melee couldn't do it, come on, it would be cool. It would be fun. Anyways, I appreciate you guys giving your time to this video, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.